Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Spotlight. Today we are going to be talking about 10 guests that annoyed Ellen. Number 10, Wendy Williams.
So you got to get in there with your thoughts.
So, and it's paying off, obviously, because this is doing very well for you. But do you get in trouble? Like, have you run into people that you've said bad things about?
Wendy Williams is a big talk show host in her own right and definitely seems like a direct competition to Ellen. Even though the shows aren't on at the same time, people can't help but make comparisons between the two talk show titans. Perhaps this was responsible for these uncomfortable moments between the First Ladies of Talk in two different segments on The Ellen Show. Their first encounter was in a 2013 interview. Ellen DeGeneres barely hid her disdain for the not-so-subtle shade Williams threw at Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, who at the time were expecting their first child. Moments later, Williams was questioning Ellen's veganism by asking how she lived without bacon. Ellen is usually the one with funny, witty and quick comebacks, but it seemed that she took offense to it based on her response. Ellen responded in a serious manner that it was because pigs were very smart animals. Awkward. Things couldn't have gotten more awkward than this, right? Well, after 3 years, Wendy Williams was back on the show to play a game of Heads Up, the game where guests make Ellen DeGeneres guess the name of a celebrity that only they can see on the screen. Justin Bieber was one of the celebs Ellen had to guess, and Wendy's clue to Ellen was that Ellen shared a resemblance with this artist. Again, another awkward moment. Ellen didn't really seem to enjoy that encounter, as since then, Wendy has never returned to the show and their interview is not on Ellen's YouTube channel. Coincidence? Probably not. Number 9, CAITLYN Jenner.
That is something you probably
different.
Yeah, you knew you wanted to make this change, and you knew you wanted to become a woman, but you didn't know what that meant.
The majority of these interviews usually start out and end harmlessly, but there was a genuine tension when CAITLYN Jenner appeared on DeGeneres' show. The interview started out great and DeGeneres was proud of Jenner's work with transgender rights activism, but things got worse when they decided to speak about her past disagreement with same-sex marriage. Further tagging herself as a traditionalist, Jenner said that it was simply a matter of wanting to preserve the institution of marriage as between a man and a woman. Jenner finally stated that he now agreed with the idea, but DeGeneres sensed that perhaps that wasn't entirely true. This made DeGeneres gently describe how same-sex couples sought the same equality as transgender people.
I was very stealthy. I was good at this stuff. I would literally go back to the hotel room, cross-dress, walk out around the hotel, and they never knew.
And they didn't know it was you? They couldn't recognize you?
Number 8, Kanye West.
Yes.
Look at that. Thanks a whole lot. Now why do I want to walk on that now that you've signed them? Now I'll sign mine for you and I'll give them to you.
Thank you.
Kanye West has had a few abrasive moments on air, and this was one of them. Kanye West intended to use this interview on the Ellen DeGeneres show to bring the realness and to confuse everyone with his Kanye-centric vision for humanity. Kanye's sit-down with Ellen was less of an interview and more of an open platform on daytime television, so it was always going to be weird. Seriously, we're talking about some out-of-control kind of stuff here. During the interview, Kanye tried to outline how his creativity can help the world's fashion, but insisted that his best attribute was connecting people and not selling products. Yes, this is where the confusion began, and it continued for the rest of the interview. Later on, Kanye compared his life to Will Smith's character in The Pursuit of Happiness, who invested his entire life savings in portable bone density scanners. Ellen could only keep staring as Kanye poured out his mind before abruptly coming to an end. Number 7, Kim Burrell. Kim Burrell was supposed to appear on the Ellen DeGeneres show, but managed to get kicked off before even coming on. Ellen, one of the most prominent lesbians in Hollywood, tweeted that Kim will not be part of the show anymore in 2017. The talk show host issued that statement after Burrell refused to apologize for her sermon on homosexuality. The gospel singer was scheduled to perform a song for the film Hidden Figures alongside Pharrell Williams on the show this Thursday. A tape of Burrell preaching at the Love and Liberty Fellowship Church was circulated online. In her message, Burrell referred to the perverted homosexual spirit and the spirit of delusion and confusion, saying that it deceived many men and women. For someone like Ellen, you can expect that this wouldn't go down so well. Number 6, GIADA de LAURENTIIS.
They're golden brown. See? Oh my God. They turn golden brown like that.
Every time she starts to talk, you turn to me and tell me something.
During a Bad 27 interview, celebrity chef GIADA De Laurentiis decided to ruin the moment with a sexual innuendo about rice balls, then quickly pivoted to insulting DeGeneres' apparent lack of culinary skills. She even went further to say that DeGeneres rolls look like dog food after the talk show host attempted rolling an artichoke arancini. The out-of-control chef also aimed a sly dig at fellow guest Nicole Kidman, who participated in the segment with them. From there, everything went on from bad to worse, and was funny as De Laurentiis yelled that Ellen's balls were falling apart. Finally, DeGeneres and Kidman struck back. After taking a bite out of De Laurentiis' clementine and fennel focaccia bread, DeGeneres mugged for the camera while struggling to chew it. Kidman also thought the balls were pretty hard and found it difficult to eat. It was a moment filled with a lot of awkwardness. De Laurentiis returned to Ellen the next year to redeem herself, only to start the segment by making DeGeneres a drink and saying that she felt if they got her drunk enough, she wouldn't know the difference. What a terrible way to start.
Okay. Last 4 hours.
Good. But first of all, we're starting with alcohol. What's happening?
Yes, because I figured if we got you drunk enough, you wouldn't know the difference, and then you would just love everything.
I see. Okay. Well, that's a good point.
So we're gonna.
Number 5, Jennifer Lawrence.
All right, let's talk about your kitty cat. Now, what made you get the kitty cat?
Well, I wanted a dog, but I was like, I can't take. Oh, there she is.
How do you not want that?
Bearing in mind the aforementioned praise of Caitlyn Jenner's work with transgender rights advocacy, there is no denying how uncomfortable it had to have made DeGeneres when Jennifer Lawrence cracked a Chaz Bono joke. Chaz, for those who somehow don't know, is the transgender son of Cher and the late Sonny Bono. Anyway, the notoriously unfiltered actress said that she jokingly calls her female cat Chaz Bono because of her masculine energy. She then gave a rambling explanation of how she automatically thinks that all cats are female and how it's just weird for a cat to act like a boy, whatever that means. Clearly, DeGeneres was prepared for the whole cat segment, as New Now Next pointed out that she was ready to go with a slideshow of the adorable little kitty. But the way she absolutely didn't react to the Chaz Bono joke and moved right into some very specific cat facts that seemed to blow Lawrence's mind, perhaps indicated that some unintended improv happened there.
Oliver and like boy, and everybody's like, what's his name? That's just weird for a cat. So we call her Chaz Bono.
Yeah.
That's her driving.
Because
Number 4, Jessica Simpson.
Hey, Jessica.
Very exciting.
It's very exciting to
I'm
have.
not pregnant on your show.
Are you sure you're not pregnant? I heard that
Yes,
you were pregnant.
I am. Oh gosh.
There are those moments in life that are so awkward that you almost can't stand them. That is the best way to describe Jessica Simpson's interview with Ellen DeGeneres. Simpson was on the daytime talk show to talk about her fashion line and her new music, but it almost immediately got off to a weird start. DeGeneres started the interview by asking if Simpson was pregnant because the last 2 times she was on the show, she was. The mother of 2 was quick to say she wasn't, explaining that she had an IUD. Soon, Simpson was talking about her daughter's mermaid-themed birthday party where women dressed as mermaids had to be carried to the bathroom because they can't pee on my children in the pool. Then, Simpson had trouble remembering how long exactly she and her husband, Eric Johnson, had been together. 7 years, she thinks. Throughout the interview, Simpson didn't really elaborate on her answers, which meant DeGeneres had to do a lot of the work. Not to mention, she made a lot of Jim Halpert face the camera.
I am.
Which is, how long has it been since you've done music? No, I shouldn't ask you numbers. Why do I even ask you?
Number 3, David Arquette.
Our favorite games around here is called Never Have I Ever. Here we go with the first question. I'll play along. Never have I ever hooked up in a bathroom at a party.
David Arquette's appearance on the show had caused concern from its fans after he appeared to slur his words during the interview. The 44-year-old actor appeared on an episode of Ellen DeGeneres' chat show, but viewers quickly pointed out how awkward he was acting. He was on the chat show along with fellow guest Wanda Sykes and got into the swing of things with the host as they played a game of Never Have I Ever. His reaction throughout the show was unnatural and it made everyone around uncomfortable. The self-confessed recovering alcoholic, who last year admitted a relapse following the birth of his son with wife Christina McClarty, giggled through the TV bit and mumbled through his answers and responses to his co-stars. Wearing an all-white outfit, he laughed pretty much throughout the appearance and lifted his shoulders up, moving and writhing in his chair, almost exaggerated execution. It made for uncomfortable viewing for many members of the audience at home and no one failed to express their concerns. Number 2, dishonest fan.
Oh. and then after that, trust, right? Trust is very important. So before the show, I put out some Ellen products with a sign that said only one per person, and
Hidden cameras are Ellen DeGeneres' stock in trade. That's what one audience member found out the hard way on a clip that aired last fall, but only now has it made it online. DeGeneres had set up a table of free swag outside the studio with a sign that told visitors 1 item per person. And truthfully, DeGeneres' audience members were super honest. One woman even put back a hat she wanted, saying she'd just buy it. But there's always one. In this case, it was Nancy, a woman in a mustard yellow top who came back more than once for different items and even swapped out one extra item for a different item. When someone else called her out on it, she told them to shut up. The episode, which has been viewed more than 1 million times, features DeGeneres complimenting her crowd for obeying the honor system. And then it shows her outing Nancy, who seemed a little less shamefaced than maybe we'd be faced with being called a thief on national television. Nancy had an excuse. The extra item was for her sister, who couldn't make it. But it was really a terrible excuse.
My sister couldn't come, so that was her souvenir.
yeah,
Sorry.
a lot of people's sisters couldn't come.
Number 1, Sean Hayes.
But, and you've been so kind to have me on as many times, and you've always been so supportive and such an inspiration.
Ow,
Thank
your
you.
ring.
All right.
This interview passes as friendly banter, but still belongs on the list. The insults slung at DeGeneres by Will and Grace star Sean Hayes were all in good spirit. However, it was safe not to read any meaning to the banter between the two. In this interview, she and Hayes, for some reason, decided to one-up each other with pointed barbs about the other's career. It played out like this. Hayes first swiped at DeGeneres' inability to smoothly transition from question to question. DeGeneres counterpunched by mentioning the original cancellation of Will and Grace. Hayes returned fire by saying that he thought it was longer than her sitcom was on, to which DeGeneres went in for the kill by saying he was right and she had to come out first for them to do that sitcom. Target engaged, target destroyed. The two of them, of course, fell out laughing after the whole exchange, with Hayes conceding that it's the truth. It was an awkward moment, but equally fun to watch at the same time.
I wonder you've been on for 15 years. Yeah. People are like, do you see your transitions are so
That was a good segue.
Yeah,
Because
amazing.
I connected it. I said, that's what I'll do now.
I know. Can't shut it off on Ellen's brain.
Also, while you're here, go ahead and check out one of these videos on your screen. See you there.